The month of July is also known as Maia Campbell National Minority Mental Health Awareness Month, where the goal is to destigmatize mental health in the Black community. Now, Maia's daughter, Maia Campbell, who is most known for her roles in South Central and In the House, has been seen in Atlanta as of late asking for money on the street. It has been reported in the past that Campbell has suffered from drug addiction and bipolar disorder. But situations like this make us wonder why our talent isn't protected better in the industry. Situations like this also makes us think of Redd Foxx's passing. In a 2011 interview, actress Della Reese spoke on Fox's death back in 1991 and how Hollywood producers were ready to recast his roles just moments after his wife found out. When Jamie Foxx was hospitalized earlier this year, there were reports of Netflix hiring stunt and body doubles for Jamie while he was recovering. Today we have our comedy hype analysts, Marcus Board and Spanky Hayes, calling in to give their thoughts and reactions. But first, let's take a look at this clip.
I think I got $1 or $2 or something like that.
Thank you. I'm good.
That'll be okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Ain't you, why you going to,
Yeah, for $1 more, I'll be good every month. I got choked.
no, ain't you Maya though?
I was caught up in my magazine reading and all kinds of stuff. Now I'm so humble, scared, but right now I'm cute. You probably got a good look, and I probably ain't got to the wrong about, but it is what it is. I'm just, everybody tell you hello. I just say hi back. You know what I'm saying?
That's good. And that's all you can do.
You know, medicine.
And keep praying. Give me a hug.
Now, this video was from earlier this year, and it's actually not the first video that we've seen go viral of Maia, in Atlanta or just asking for things. But let me bring you in first, Spanky. I know you actually have had a relationship with Maia in regards of a friendship. I'd love to get your reaction to seeing this. What are your thoughts?
My first thought, she doesn't look as bad as the last time I seen her, which is kind of a little weird. She got her nails done, and she kind of looked like she got like an ass shot or something. Like, I don't know, this is weird. But, and I'm kind of shocked that she got to Atlanta. Like, the last time I seen her, she was on Crenshaw. So it's like, I don't know, man. That's kind of weird to me. Like, she's broke, but she traveling some kind of way. Like, what she got, like a sugar daddy? I don't know. That's so weird, but I've been knowing her a long time, man. She's a beautiful person. Like, she's a real, I don't know, man. That's the homegirl. It just saddens me to see her like that. But again, she looks better on that video than I seen her in a while. So I'm kind of got mixed views about that. But God bless her, man. I hope she gets better, man. Like, she's been messed up a long time, though. Like, I would say about 15 years she's been like that. Like, she just rebelled against Hollywood. She just decided, I don't want to do acting no more. I don't want to, be a sex symbol. I don't want to be looked at as fine no more, because for a long time, that's all you heard about her at first was how fine she was and how beautiful she is. And she still, I know she's like begging for change, but I know her. So to me, she still look kind of beautiful. I just know her, you know what I'm saying? So, but it's just weird. How did she get to Atlanta? That's what I want to know.
Yeah,
did
no,
she
that's
take the
a great
Greyhound? Did she? How does this happen?
Yeah, great question. I wish I could give that answer to you, but let me ask you, because you said you've known her for a long time and just, she's been like this for a while. I'm curious, I know you mentioned she talked about, being a sex symbol. Did that play a part? Do you think that played a part in what we're seeing or, the way that she is? Because I know, her mom was a mental health advocate. Her father was an architect. So it seemed like her foundation was pretty solid. So I'm just curious as to, what contributed to what we're seeing.
I think that anything, I'll say this again, anything you get too much of, it kind of ruins you. Like, it's like a drug or anything. Like, I think that she just got so tired of being, people getting at her or trying to get at her. And, I heard a long time ago, people would like drug her and put ecstasy in the drinks. And, that's kind of like a thing guys used to do in the 90s. And I think it just ruined her. Like she didn't want to be sexy no more. She was like, I don't want to be an actress no more. I just want to be a regular motherfucker that's walking down the street and begging for change. And I was like, how did you get to that? And She was just like, well, I just don't care anymore. And I don't want to do this anymore. It's just really weird about Hollywood. It's like you're stuck. Like let's just take the guy who plays Urkel. I don't care what he's doing right now. That is Urkel. You know what I'm saying? Like you get stuck in these roles and you never get out of it. Like never ever. So I think that's what it was with her. Like it's like I don't want to be this no more. So I'm gonna just be the opposite of everything that people think I am. And that's it's just so sad that but that's a lesson, boys and girls. You might get what you wish for. You know, I'm sure when she was a little girl, she wished, I want to be on TV and I want to be a big star and I want to be this and I want to be the beautifulest girl on TV. And she got that. Now look at the result of it. It's like, man, that's so sad, man. That's really sad. But I love her and I wish her the best. Like, I wish she would somehow snap out of that. And then here's another thing. I don't think someone giving her a new acting job is going to get her out of that.
Yeah.
I think she's done with that. I think in her mind, she's done with that. And she's just living life, waiting to die. That's so sad, man. That's so sad.
Yeah, I definitely send my well wishes as well. And same thing, I'm just kind of hoping to see her, get the help that she needs and deserves. Marcus, let me bring you in though. Like I said, this isn't the first video we've seen go viral of Maia. I'm interested to know, what are your reactions to this?
Yeah, I mean, I hope she has everything she needs, right? I can't read her life from the video, but I hope she has all the accommodations and support that she needs. And if that's happening, then I think she will be okay. I think one of the things that we see sometimes is we'll think about mental health interventions as a quick hit or a quick fix. But the reality is this is a lifelong process. And I'm sure she was dealing with it before the fame, during the fame, and now since. So just sending, encouraging vibes, and hopefully people stop kind of trying to sensationalize her situation as opposed to empathizing and sympathizing and showing the type of community support that everybody wants to be a part of.
So let me ask you this, Marcus, because I think, and again, back when the other video did go viral, we saw LL Cool J reach out and say, hey, if you can help me find Maia, and this is according to a People article that was written up about the situation. The Instagram has since been deleted, but LL Cool J will reach out and say, hey, if you heard of Maia or know where she is, please help her get in contact with me. Maia would then respond via Instagram saying, hey, I don't need help. I just need, a mental health funds for her to, get the help, I guess, in that mental health space. And then, LL Cool J would kind of back off like, hey, okay, well, you can't help anyone that doesn't want to be helped. So let me ask you, Marcus, what do we do, right? Because a lot of people obviously feel attached to her. So I think that's why you're seeing people kind of say, hey, we hate to see this. I don't like seeing this. This is somebody, I grew up with, somebody I watched on television, somebody I helped support and grow their career. What do you think the solution is here? What do people do?
Well, you have to be patient first and foremost. You can't necessarily expect somebody who's experiencing mental health struggles in general to then walk the line that you want them to walk. It's a process. So you have to be patient. You also have to be committed to supporting them. So it can't be a one hitter quitter. It can't be like, well, I got you rehab one time, or I sent you this therapist one time, or whatever. It's an ongoing process of them situating their lives in a way that works for them. And that's not always going to work for any of us. We're really good at doing that when it comes to like colleagues and peers and folks that we work with. Be like, look, that's my work friend. Well, that's somebody I know, but they do their thing, I do my thing. When it comes to people who are in need, though, very often we flip the switch and decide to say, oh, well, I know what's best for your life. I know what you need. I know everything that you need to work on. And I'm like, sometimes people be right. I'm not going to be mad at nobody for being right. But at the same time, there's a way that people can think they're right without actually putting in any effort. Right? You have to actually be diligent. There's people spend entire careers learning about these conditions, learning new treatments, learning new ways to help people get to where they need to be for themselves. So just because you come in all passionate and with resources doesn't necessarily mean you have what that person needs to recover.
Yeah, no, I definitely like that advice. Thank you so much. Spanky, let me bring you back in because something that you mentioned, you talked about, her not wanting to be typecast, her no longer wanting to be that sexy figure. I want to ask you, especially since you've had that close relationship and, we've seen you in Hollywood, we've seen you on television and things like that. Speaking of, I think Wild 'N Out just renewed, you being on Wild 'N Out and being known as, the funny, goofy guy. Did you ever feel that same regard in the sense of like, I don't want to be that anymore? Did you ever want to give up on your career because of always, being fun and silly on the Wild 'N Out show?
Of course, I retired for 8 years because I didn't want to be Spanky Hayes from Wildin' Out anymore. I got tired of everybody adding Wilding Out, the hashtag Wilding Out every time they mention me. It became ridiculous to me. Back to LL Cool J, and I'm not saying anything about LL Cool J. I don't know him, but that sounds like a person who added to that problem. Most people who want to come reach out to you is because they had something to do with it. And again, I don't know LL Cool J, so I'm not saying he did, but I'm just saying he knows something. He got to know something. He probably seen the beginning. From what I know, Ja Rule is one of the people who started that with her too. She used to hang around Ja Rule all the time and a lot of drugs. And I mean, again, I don't want to say names, but I'm Spanky Hayes. You know me, I don't care. But so it was the industry. It was being so caught into the industry that then you decide I don't want this no more. Like Wildin' Out, I would rather go to jail for 25 years than go back on Wildin' Out. That's just me though.
Why is that?
Well, I had a lot to do with the creation of it, and I never got my just due. I never got a producer's credit. I never got a director's credit. I never got a casting credit. None of that. I was just an artist the whole time. So all this stuff that I added to the equation, I never got a just due for. So eventually, you get kind of tired of that. It's like, man, I don't want to do this shit no more. Like, whatever. Who cares? So I'm sure that that's what happened to her. Like she's done so much, and she's from LA. She's like LA. So it's like any Hollywood going on. I'm sure they had to go to her to get people, and I know the homies to come through, whatever. I'm sure she had a bigger part than it looks, and she probably got tired of that, like anybody would. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I just feel so sorry for her, man, because I feel really it's touching me because I know her.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it's weird. And I was wondering where she was. Like, where is she at now? Like, she's in Atlanta. That is crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wild 'N Out sucks. I wish they can take that show off the air. That will be like heaven the day that I see on the road on any newspaper. Nick Cannon show Wild 'N Out is not showing anymore. Great. Awesome. I've retired until I could do movies. Like I'm doing movies now. So I'm in a different part of my life. But until then, I really didn't like Wild 'N Out because it kept me in a box and it kept me Spanky Hayes from Wild 'N Out. I know that's what she's going through. If I didn't retire for 8 years, then I would probably be doing exactly what she's doing.
Wow. It makes me think too. Recently, Carlos Miller also has been talking about, how he feels about Wild 'N Out, how he's just not like he doesn't like it, he doesn't want to go back. Just the relationship. He was just saying, how he was treated, and he doesn't like how he was treated, as opposed to, he knows DC Young Fly. He has a great relationship, but for him, he feels like he's outgrown Wild 'N Out. Do you feel, I guess, and I feel like this happens all the time, right? Black talent is constantly treated this way in Hollywood, where we help build something up and then it's just kind of you're pushed to the side and no credit is given or no rights are given to what you help create?
I think what you just said is a diamond. That's exactly how it goes. They'll find someone who looks like you to replace you. Like it's the most brutal job ever, man. Like I'm pretty sure people don't know what they're signing when they sign these contracts and they get on these shows and they get popular. They never think that this is gonna happen to them. Like I'm gonna be popular forever. I'm gonna be famous forever. And by the way, fame, it comes with no money. When you're famous, you don't have money. They give you either money or fame. It's never the same. It's never both of them. Remember the show Rich and Famous? That show went off like quick as hell because there was they only could find 5 people that was rich and famous. So you know what I mean? So I guess Kevin Hart right now would be rich and famous. Probably Cat Williams would be rich and famous. It's a few. Nick Cannon is rich and famous. I don't know how rich he's gonna be. He got all them kids.
Yeah.
But
It's not a
just,
lot. It's not a
it's
lot.
very
Not a
loose
lot of
term. That say it again. I'm sorry.
No. I was saying you're basically saying it's just not a lot of people, that you can find that are rich and famous. That
Exactly.
kind of
Almost none. It's not enough to even bring that to say that.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this one last question, Spanky, as we close out, because you mentioned Cat Williams. Cat Williams actually did return to the first episode. I don't know if you've seen the clips or if you've seen it, but Cat Williams did return to the first episode of Wild 'N Out. One, what do you think of that? And two, why do you think we're seeing Cat Williams return to Wild 'N Out?
Well, it's like going home. It's like going to your college to make a speech. It's like going home. I guess for Cat Williams that would be good. That's a good look for him to go back to Wild 'N Out and to show I'm still the man. Cat Williams is my brother, man. He's still the only friend I got that could loan me $5,000, $10,000 if I really needed it. So it's hard for me to get me to say anything bad about him. But yeah, that's why Cat did it. Did it mean anything? Probably not. Probably not to Cat. Probably for ratings. Probably helps Nick Cannon more than anybody. But yeah, I mean, I would probably go back if I had movies and Oscars and stuff like that. That's what I'm holding on to. I wouldn't go back until then. You know what I mean? Like he's in a good space to do that. But for me, I would never do it again. I'm not ever doing that again. You'll never see me on Wild Out again. They even took on the original logo of Wild 'N Out. It was me, Nick, and Afion. They took me off of it, and now they put, I think, Justine Valentine, who was dope. I love her, but they took me off the logo. So again, shit like that will make you do drugs, go to another city, ask for money, live off your fame. That kind of shit does that. So I'm just a stronger person. I got family. I made my own family, and I got other stuff to think about. But if you don't have that, you're gonna go fucking crazy. Like you're gonna lose your mind. This shit is about taking control of you. As much control that we can have over you, that's a star. Like Kevin Hart, they control Kevin Hart. You know what I'm saying? They control Nick Cannon. They control people. So that's why you see them happy and smiling and buying shit and giving their friends shit because they already gave up their control. People like Cat Williams, people like myself, that's why you might see us in all kind of little, crazy little shit because we refuse to give the control up.
Right.
I can't sell my soul for this shit. My mother prays for me way more than I pray for myself. So basically, this is her soul. So I can't give my mother's soul up for this shit. So, so it doesn't matter about how talented you are. It doesn't matter if you have a 3-picture deal. After those 3 pictures, you're nothing. The key to all of this shit is relationships. If you don't have relationships, it don't matter how good you are. It don't matter how funny you are. It don't matter how good you look. It don't matter. None of that shit matters if you can't call somebody on the phone and say, hey, bro, I need a job. Or, hey, man, can you throw me on this? Or, hey, man, can you do this? Or, hey, man. And I think that she ran out of relationships because she refused to take it. She's fed up. She don't care about that no more. She probably don't want to see nobody in show business.
Right, and I like you said, I think you mentioned it, hit the nail on the head earlier. I do hope that, and also Marcus as well. I do hope she has everything that she needs at this current moment. I hope that as we continue to see life move forward, that she does get the help that she needs, or whatever she needs. Marcus, and I think you just put it perfect. Whatever she needs, I hope she gets that instead of what we kind of project or what people may project onto her. So thank you guys both for chiming in on this topic. Also, Spanky, thank you so much for giving some insight of that personal relationship. And hey, now that she's in Atlanta, maybe one of us will run into her and, maybe have a conversation and she'll have that relationship that she may need. But we'll kind of see.
Matter of fact, if you see her, give her my number.
I will.
That's my homie. I love her to death. It's scary to see her like that.
Absolutely. And if anybody in the comments sees her, hey, let us know, and we'll be sure to give that contact information to her, no doubt. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, and when we come back, Marcus, I am throwing the ball to you for no capital. We'll be right back right after this.
Welcome back to Comedy Hype News. My name is Marcus Board. We're here with No Capital. A viral video has caught our attention this past week, and it shows a man berating a woman after he gave her a compliment and didn't like her reaction. The man caused a scene, yelling while others continued to walk by. The man would go on to say that if she didn't want attention from a man, she shouldn't dress like that. Clown. The viral video was posted by the Lex Museum, but Twitter user Chris Evans would write, he had a complete meltdown because he gave a woman a compliment and didn't like her response. Goes on an angry tirade talking about, I'll put you in the back of my trunk and everybody will look at you on forensic files the next day. Now, this isn't the first time we've seen a viral video like this where a man reacts violently after a woman rejected their advances. Earlier this year, the New York Post reported a story on Alabama basketball player Darius Miles, who allegedly killed Jamea Harris after she wouldn't talk to him.
Yo, weird. What's wrong with you? If you don't want anybody to say anything complimenting-wise, don't put it on. Wear a fucking bathrobe. Dumbass bitch. What the f you talking about? Respect your place. You guys are women. I put all you guys in my trunk and everybody will look at you on forensic files the next day. Give me a compliment, you can't even take it. Stay right here. Everybody on the phone, like, yo, he's my brother, he's my brother, he's my brother. Get the f out of here.
And all you men out here not saying shit and just letting him talk is crazy.
Say hello and say hi.
Why are you yelling?
All I said was nice. All I said was
Stop talking to him right now. Yo,
Why are you
stop talking to him.
Yo, you on some bitch shit, nigga.
Look at you. Look at you. He literally did this to himself. We asked him to walk away so many times. He followed us back up because the line was way back here. And he came back up to continue going at us. And the only reason he redirected his energy is when they came. But it was like walking behind us, getting himself more hype. His ass going on TikTok.
Now, I want to come in, Marcus. I want to add some context to this video, especially being the only woman on the panel today. So the woman in the video was actually recording. It was her friend that he was talking to. So the woman was just recording. That's not the woman that he was, wanting to talk to or wanting to holler at. It was her friend who was off camera. Here's what the caption says. She says, well, how some of my night went at Sailfest, all because he complimented a woman I was with and he didn't care for her response and told her if she didn't want attention of a man, don't dress like that. She literally had on a tank top tucked into jeans, not that that should even matter. She could have had on barely anything on, and we still didn't deserve to be told we looked better in the back of his truck on the 7 p.m. news. Now, for me, my reaction, it's two-part, right? Because as a woman, I've definitely been in this situation. Gas stations, for me, are one of the top places I go, and you turn a man down, and it's like he keeps coming. You can tell him you have a boyfriend. You can tell him you're married. It doesn't matter. And then, if you turn him down, and it can be nice. I'm a very nice person, and, I try to keep a very subtle reaction, but I've gotten this reaction. It's very scary. Watching it, my heart rate is increased as I'm watching this. At the same time, it's kind of funny because it's like, it's crazy to think that this is real. It's crazy to think that people actually react and respond like this, but it does happen. In situations like this, I think when she was telling her friend, hey, don't respond, because the more you pour into it, the worse it's going to get. And she even talked about like the men being around her and not saying anything. That was a little disappointing, but when men did intervene, it seemed to escalate more and more. So, the situation is very scary. I always tell women, take self-defense classes. Make sure you have protection. Have people around you that you can trust and that you feel protected by, or that, you know, if worse comes to worse, you two can defend one another, because unfortunately this does happen. But I will say this, and I want to say this, and some people may get upset, but oh well with it. I will not use this as an excuse to downgrade my black men. I will not say that all black men act like this, because that's not true. I will not use this against men, because right now on social media there seems to be a big, you know, black men against black women. So I will not use this as fuel to the fire on what I'm seeing on social media. This is a incident that does happen with different races. It doesn't matter whether you're black, white, Mexican, whatever the case is. So this is not any fuel that I'm adding to the fire that I'm seeing on social media. It is very unfortunate and scary, but you know, it does happen. So women, take self-defense classes, know how to protect yourself, because situations like this do happen. Spanky, let me bring you in. What are your thoughts?
I think that's a very sad situation. But I think to attract the man that you want, you have to be in those realms. You can't go to a ghetto spot and expect a lawyer to holler at you. People have to learn how to accept no and to say no nicely. That's one thing. When I first moved to LA, I noticed that women in LA turn you down in the nicest way, that you don't want to, like, okay, thanks, baby. You still like them in a sense. It's not like that everywhere. I think women, and not just black women, I think women in general have to learn how to say no. Like, you don't have to be nasty. You don't have to be, and that's on both sides. Like, if a guy's approaching you, I always wonder what makes a guy do that. Like, okay, she said no, just keep going. But some people just had a bad day, had a bad week, got a terrible life, and they can't hear no, and they want to press the issue. I never saw what people thought was going to come after that. Like, okay, if she already said no and you're still talking, what do you expect for her to say? No again, no twice, no 8 times? I don't know, but I think that people just got to start being more nicer. But here's to the women. Women have to understand that the world is worse. It's very bad now. To turn a guy down, you have to smile at him. You can't say, no, nigga, I don't want to put you and and keep walking. You can't offend people. Even if you're not with it, you still can't offend a person, because you don't know what they're going to do. You can never underestimate what the next man will do. If he's embarrassed, it's going to make you feel embarrassed. That's just how the world is. It's like kids. Like, men are turning to kids.
Yeah, Spanky, I don't know though. I think, well, one, hurt people. So obviously this gentleman seems to have some hurt. Like I say, he could have had a bad week, whatever the case. But I've been in situations where I do the smiling and the, oh no, I'm fine, and men still get this upset. So I think some of the women that you hear that probably have, you know, an attitude, they probably experience being nice, and being nice, especially nowadays, like, it does not matter. It unfortunately it doesn't. And I try to stay nice, but it's almost like they take it as like, oh, you don't really mean it, or like, oh, let me keep, like, she's easy, or let me just keep going. I think there's just a responsibility, and I can agree. I do think people just need to be nice in general, because we don't know what people are going through, especially, you know, with mental health issues. But I can't say the responsibility falls on the women. I can't let that go, because it doesn't. I think people just need to be responsible for their own actions. And if you're hurt, go get some help. If you don't know how to take rejection, go get some help.
I'm gonna jump in there
but
too,
let me
Stephanie.
say this last thing. If people don't take responsibility for their own actions, there's always gonna be situations like that. So I think you start with yourself. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can't really worry about what another person is doing. You have to worry about yourself.
Yeah,
like,
but Spank, we just had a situation like that on the show where we talked about Carlisha Hood and her son when she got attacked in a food spot, and her son ended up shooting a man. So, like, we've seen these situations play out consistently over time. Like, the first pandemic that ever happened in all of our lives is violence against women. And particularly Black and brown women experience it more than any other group, and not just in intimate partner relationships, as Symphony was saying, it's also just in community spaces, like the lady in the food spot. It's also just in the society in general. So like, it's one of them things where if we continue to tell women to do that emotional labor of controlling themselves while somebody else is wilding out, and we collectively don't intervene, then we're going to continue to see the violence. Like this person getting locked up because they had warrants. Like I'm an abolitionist. I don't want that for them, but I also do need them to stop in that situation. I need people to intervene. I need people to de-escalate. And so I can't focus on how a woman does or doesn't say no when the problem is somebody's violently attacking them literally in every phase of their life. Like, not saying everybody's perfect, right? And not saying Black women, can do no wrong. I'm just saying this is a consistent, ongoing, deadly problem, like literally leading cause of death. And so it's like in moments like this, we have opportunities to push the public conversation and hopefully get people to start understanding and doing a little bit more work on their end to actually understand these problems and be able to intervene in healthy ways, which could be literally physically standing in the space. It could be looking at the person who's being targeted and just having a conversation with them and taking them away from the situation. There's a lot of different ways, if you're serious about this, that you can do it. But if you aren't serious, then it turns into one of those things where we're going to have this conversation in circles for the rest of our lives unless we do something differently. You know what I'm saying? I know that was long.
I agree with that. I agree with that. It's just a weird time, man. It's like you don't know what's going to trigger somebody. So I would say just, I would be short-worded with people. When people say, hey, what's up, baby? Just, be like, nothing. Have a great day. And keep moving.
Yeah, protect yourself at all times.
Absolutely. And I always say, I think everybody, regardless if you're going through something or not, therapy is nice. Or you can go to where Marcus is with this wonderful background that's giving me some peace in this conversation because, we're all going through things. The pandemic definitely heightened a lot of it, but get some help, get some therapy. I think we all can use somebody to talk to, definitely. So, but thank you both for chiming in on this topic. Marcus, thank you for another great No Capital. Marcus, I'm starting with you on what you have going on before we close out because I talked about this background and it's not fake at all. It's real. What do you have going on? And of course, how can people follow you?
I'm on vacation. It's a quick little jaunt to Jamaica. But no, I'm happy to be here. I appreciate you all. You can reach me at marcusboard.com. There was somebody I wanted to shout out. Shout out to The Blackening, Black comedy film, doing great work. I'm excited to see how it does now that it's released on streaming. There was another group I wanted to shout out, and I can't remember what it is. So maybe next week.
There we go. I love it. Next time I'll have to take a little jaunt to Jamaica.
Just a little jaunt. You know what I'm saying? Just a little.
Billy, sit down.
Something light. Nothing. Just a little.
Nothing major. Spanky, let me bring you in to close us out. Spanky, first of all, thank you again for joining us. I always appreciate you coming on the platform. What have you been up to? And of course, what can we look out for and how can people keep up with you?
Well, you can keep up with me with official Spanky Hayes on Instagram. I don't really do too much social media anymore. I have a movie coming out August 18th called Back on the Script with Wesley Snipes and Tiffany Haddish, Kevin Hart, so on and so on. I'm getting ready to do another film, Crank 3. Let's see. I have my own independent movie I'm like almost. I need to shoot maybe like 6 more scenes, and it's called Martina, and it's kind of like a Black version of Shallow Hal in a way. So yeah, I've been just working, man, just raising my family. I just had a son 6 months ago, Kobe Clay Hayes, my beautiful boy.
Congratulations.
And thank you. And just taking care of the kids and the wife and trying to live, man. Trying to live. I will show you my background. It's not quite Jamaica. It's pretty dope for Vegas, though. It's pretty dope for Vegas. For sure. But yeah, just working, man. Just trying to not do wilding out. Anything to not be on wilding out.
I love it. And let me say, Spanky, you're not trying, you're doing it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Sometimes you got to hear that.
No, absolutely. And we appreciate you again for chiming in on these topics. Thank you, Marcus Board, as well, for bringing us No Capital and chiming in on these topics. But you heard from us. Now we want it from you in the comments below. For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson. Pierre not here, but y'all can still put it in the comments.
What's up? I'm Terrence Sims. For years, you come to us to get the latest news in comedy and for your favorite comedians. Now, you can come to us for even more news in the world of sports, music, and pop culture. We're bringing you some of our classic shows you love, like Unforgotten, the Comedy Hype News Show, and more one-on-one interviews. We're more than just laughs, we're the culture, the leader in truth. And well, your streamer got a little more blacker. Welcome to Hype Plus.